Yes, that's right. It's Joe here live for Joyrider TV, back with some more very interesting Q&A. You ask the questions and I'll do what I can to come through with the correct answers at the correct time. Just so that you know, next week there won't be a live Q&A, and that is because very exciting class association on Fridays, so I won't be there. But if you're around, it'd be great to meet you, talk about some catamaran sailing and the rest of it. And if you are lucky enough to be in Dusseldorf at the boat show on those days, I'll be speaking on the main stage in the sailing hall at 11 o'clock on Tuesday next week, and then at 2 o'clock on Wednesday next week. Very exciting times. But if you can't make it, don't worry, because the talk that I'll be doing, which I'm calling the Catamaran Knowledge. Oh yeah. I will be, when I get back, I'll be making it into a video. It'll be quite a long video actually, which talks about all the different types of catamaran, who they're for, what they're good for, what they're not good for, and yeah, going into all of what I consider to be the types of catamaran that you should know about. And in the video, I'm thinking this will be probably, God, I haven't even thought about this, but probably about 50 or 60 different classes of catamaran. So that's quite a lot. So get ready for that. Yeah, start getting mentally prepared for that one, because that's going to be a big one. Oh yes. So no Q&A next week, in short. So I'm just going to start off, before I say hello to everybody who is in the live chat, with going in Florida. Airflow over a wing is supposed to have sides of the airfoil at the trailing edge. An example of what we're going to look at, tension important, and how can we adjust it, and how can we adjust it so that it works in our favor. What are the methods of adjustment, and what difference is it going to make? So the first thing we could talk about is, what is the point of it? So you could have, let's just say, to keep it simple, you could have two different levels of tension in the back edge of the sail. First one is tight, where if we've got a curved sail, leech might look like this if looking from above, and the second one would be loose, which if we're looking from above and we've got quite a curved sail, that would be like that. If we had a flat sail, of course, it would just look like a straight line, and a flat sail open leech would be more kind of like that. Kind of. So when do we want a tight leech on the sail? We want a tight leech if we are looking to sail as close as possible to the wind. So wind coming from here, if we get as close as possible to the wind, having a tight leech is going to allow us to sail closer to the wind. So you may think, all right then, so let's just tighten that bad boy up and we're going to be able to sail as close to the wind as possible. Well, yes and no. The no is, if you've got your leech tight like this one, it makes it very easy to stall. What we're trying to do is, for upwind sailing, when we're trying to point close to the wind, yes, we want to have the leech tight, but we want to have it tight, but without ever stalling. Stalling would mean the sail is too tight. And if we stall the sail, what happens is on the leeward side of the sail, like, so if this was trimmed to the direction of the wind, the wind would come over the leeward side of the sail. And then when it gets to about here, it would kind of separate from the sail. And then we just have a little bit of turbulence in here. But worse is what would happen on the windward side of the sail. If it was oversheeted, it'd be all right up until about here. And then it'd kind of like hit this wall in front of it. And then we'd get a turbulent airflow all here, which this turbulent airflow is basically going to cause massive amounts of drag, which is going to slow us down. So that is why we don't want to ever oversheet the sail. So we need to find this balance of, yes, we want the sail in tight, but we don't want it in too tight to point close to the wind. So that is point number one of when we would want a tight leech on our mainsail. When would we want a loose leech on our mainsail? Well, we'd want it looser than being oversheeted, so that when the wind is this would be kind of moderate wind. When the wind gets strong, it becomes very difficult to actually oversheet the mainsail, because before you can oversheet, chances are you'll get overpowered. So that kind of tells you immediately, no, you can't sheet in anymore. That's as much power as you can manage. So a loose leech is better if we're trying to sail fast. If you look at the speed sailing windsurf sails, or the windsurf fast windsurfing, they all have a off like a bird's wing as it gets to the top. And what that's good for is releasing the airflow at the top. So we're not containing it, we're just letting it go, which means there's less resistance to the boat moving through the air. Does this make sense? Yes, I think it does. But what is really useful is, in all situations, our telltales are going to tell us what we need to do. I'm just going to come on to this now. So, yeah, let's talk about the telltales first. So, having two sets of telltales is very useful. The first set, the ones in the body of the sail, which are the most traditionally used telltales in all types of sailing boat. These can be used to tell us how much to pull the sail in or out, using the main sheet primarily. So if we've got telltales on either side, yes, we've been through this before. The green one, if we're sailing on starboard tack, so like this, wind coming over the right side of the boat first, the green one will be on the windward side, the side closer to the wind, and then we'll have a red one, this is for port and starboard, on the leeward side of the sail. And what we can do is we can look at these, and they're going to tell us how much to pull the mainsail in. Same thing goes for the jib, but we're talking about the mainsail on this occasion. So if the windward telltale isn't flying straight back, so there's the outside one. If it's not flying straight back, what it's going to do first is lift up like this, and then maybe it will go even higher, and maybe it might start really swirling around. But if the windward one, the one on the side closer to you, isn't flying straight